Hello, welcome to the Self-Learning Podcast by Dr. Sushma Singh. Let us start discussion on Unit 12, Types of Research. And our topic is Descriptive and Analytical Research. Descriptive research describes a social situation, social events, social systems, social structures, etc. Its main purpose is to describe the state of affairs as it exists. For instance, a study of drug abuse would cover questions like the extent of drug abuse among college students, the nature of drug taken, the causes of taking drugs, the sources of drugs, the effects of taking drugs, etc. In the social sciences, we often use the term ex post facto research for descriptive studies. The main characteristics of this type of research is that the researchers have no control over the variables. They can report only what has happened or is happening. Descriptive research uses the survey. It describes accurately and precisely a wide variety of characteristics of the population in general as well as the population of different regions and communities. In analytical research, the researcher has to use facts or information already available and analyze them to make a critical evaluation of the material, looking beyond the ideas, facts, and figures already collected. A social analyst assumes that behind the accumulated data there is something more important and revealing than the facts and figures. The assumption is that carefully collected facts and figures, when related to other variables present in the entire body of data, reveal a significant general meaning from which you can draw a valid generalization. The further assumption is that social analysis is a continuous process throughout the entire research undertaking. The function of systematic analysis is to build an intellectual edifice where you place properly sorted and sifted facts and figures in their appropriate setting and consistent relationships, so that it is possible for you to draw a general inference from them. Facts and figures do not speak for themselves. They are not free and equal. They have many qualifiers, ifs and buts of varying complexities, sources and structures. Facts are never simple. The analyst need to view facts and figures in conjunction with the subjective reactions to them. Social analysis demands a thorough knowledge of one's data. Without penetrating and insightful knowledge, analysis is worthless. The very first step in analytic research is a critical examination of the assembled materials, keeping steadily in mind the purpose of the study and its possible bearing on scientific discovery. Rereading and re-examining the gathered data stirs the imagination of the analyst and induces a new way of looking at the problem and the data. One of the tasks in the analysis of data, especially those pertaining to the social and personal problems, is the establishment of a cause and effect relationship. It is imperative to look for the whole range of causal factors which generally play a significant role in bringing about a complex social situation. Now let us move to the next point, empirical and exploratory research. Empirical research relies on the experiences and observation alone, often without due regard to systems and theories. It is data-based research coming up with conclusions which are capable of being verified by further observation or experiment. In such a research, it is necessary to get first-hand facts, to have a working hypothesis, and to set up an experimental design. Such research is appropriate when proof is sought that certain variables affect other variables in some way. Evidence gathered through experiments or empirical studies is a powerful support for a given hypothesis. Generally, exploratory research is qualitative, which becomes useful in formulating hypotheses or testing hypotheses and theories. In this research, the assumption is that the researcher has little or no knowledge of a problem or situation under study, or is unfamiliar with the structure of the group under study. Exploratory research studies are also appropriate for some persistent phenomena, like deficiencies in the functioning of educational systems, corruption among the political elite, harassment by police, rural poverty, etc. Exploratory studies are quite valuable in the social sciences. They are essential in a researcher breaking new ground. Now let us move to the next point, quantitative and qualitative research. Quantitative research is based on the measurement of quantity or amount. It is applicable to phenomena that can be expressed in terms of quantity. This type of research is based on the methodological principles of positivism and adheres to the standards of strict sampling and research design. Qualitative research presents a non-quantitative analysis or is concerned with a qualitative phenomena, that is, a phenomena relating to or involving quality or kind. For instance, a researcher may want to investigating the reasons for human behavior. He or she should use techniques such as word association tests, sentence completion tests, story completion test, and similar other projective techniques. Qualitative research is especially important in the behavioral sciences, where the aim is to discover the underlying motive of human behavior. We will read in more detail about the two types of research while reading another blogs. It may be worth mentioning that you can distinguish the two types of research in terms of their technical and epistemological levels. In terms of technical level, both types offer you a chance of alternative methods. You can select either or both as per their relevance in your research. At the technical level, there is not much of a dichotomy between the two types. But at the level of epistemology, the two types of research address quite different ways of looking at knowledge about social reality. Generally, positivistic who use surveys and experimental methods carry out qualitative research. Those who critique positivist epistemology carry out qualitative research. This is the reason why there exists the notion of dichotomy between the two types of research. At the level of technique, you can happily agree with the Ramakrishna Mukherjee and not treat them as dichotomous. Now the next point is explanatory or causal or longitudinal research. Explanatory research explains the causes of social phenomena. It aims to establish a relationship between variables, that is, how one is the cause of the other, or how when one variable occurs, the other will also occur. For instance, explaining the relationship between the broken families and juvenile delinquency, or between drug abuse and lack of family control, or between a student's strike in the college and the apathy to solving students' grievances. Explanatory or causal research is mainly concerned with causes or why factor about a phenomena. It does not involve comparison and the factors of change. For instance, research on violence against women would like to answer the question why men commit violence. Then it is an example of explanatory research. The hypothesis in an explanatory research expresses the relationship between two or more variables, and the research does focuses on ascertaining the why aspect of the correlationship. The correlationship studies should not be confused with causal studies, as they are not synonymous. Two variables in a hypothesis may be related to each other either positively or negatively, but may not have a causal relationship. Longitudinal research involves a study of a problem or the same body of phenomena over a period of time. For example, prevalence of AIDS among male and female in India in 1979, 1989 and 1999. Such studies indicate the trend. Thus, research can also be cross-sectional. This study covers a broad range of phenomena at a single point in time. Now let us wind up the session and take rest. Thank you very much for engaging yourself with a self-learning podcast.